Hello, Cosmic Crew. What's happening? Happy New Year. Happy New You. Happy New Zodiac Cycle. Yes, I'm excited. I'm finally going to get to be aware and conscious and do the whole Zodiac. Lots of crazy energy. Strong energy. Bizarrely polar energy. Because we got that Chiron, that collective Chiron coming up. I talked about this in the last video. Severe polarity, meaning from 3D, if you want to higher dimension, or lower frequency, higher frequencies, the dissonance and the resonance, the mirrors that are popping up, or situations that are popping up right now in our reality to show us what still needs to be healed, show us what needs to be released, or shows us where we need a new story. We have to write a new story. I used to call this the galactic perspective. We can call it the cosmic perspective. We can call it anything we want. But we are not going to move forward until we can put a positive spin or a positive reason to why things happen to us. And those of us that are conscious right now, that were in the first wave, you know, which are a lot of RH negatives, which are a lot of very evolved beings that are here having this human experience, that we're all waking up to realizing where we are and what's going on. The polarity is so severe, and the energy right now, where we are, because we're at this moment where we just had this eclipse. We had the partial eclipse where it was half moon, half sun, which I loved that energy. That was balanced to me. We're heading into the it's either today or tomorrow. I can't, we're getting different accounts from different people, if it's today or if it's tomorrow, where because how the calendars were changed with the Gregorian calendar and the first millennium, and been getting some messages about that. So, there is still a leap year in there. So we're still trying to identify, I really believe as a collective, because we can't nail down these days anymore. There isn't a day on the calendar that's always going to be Christmas, like December 25th, which, that's not really even, we won't even go there. But it's kind of like Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, only it's just the second to last Thursday of every November, right? And then the date always changes. Well, that's how New Year's is, okay? And on this day, it's 12 hours of light, 12 hours of dark, equal on the planet. And this is, again, this balancing energy. At the same time, we're having solar flares, the aurora borealis, which is just the energies that are hitting Earth right now, as we're spending God knows how fast through the universe, the solar system. And all the while what's happening is that Earth is raising its vibration. And we're connected to the Earth. So our bodies are raising vibration. And our human bodies aren't as used to this. So we're experiencing symptoms. The divine masculine is online right now. And what I mean by that is last year was the year for the divine feminine. You know, a lot of divine feminine have been anchoring in energy. We've been clearing karmic timelines. We've been clearing our own bloodlines. And, you know, that is our role. Even the divine feminine in the males, right? It's because that is the same. It's the balance within. It's the male and female within. It's being all and nothing, right? The divine masculine are really starting to change. And pretty much everyone that I've talked to, you know, in the past few days has told me, you know, my man's acting weird. Well, they're having these thoughts and they're having emotional things that are popping up that, number one, they're not used to identifying with, because, you know, our society's taught men and taught all of us, you know, not to trust our intuition, not to listen to your knowings about situations and your gut instinct, you know, to be a mental thinker. And then they set the man on top, and this was the standard, and so that's all being undone right now. And how do you undo all that real quick, right? So the man in the old energy is thought that, you know, divine feminine, you were taught that we need you, that we have to have you, that if you're not in our life as a woman, that we can't make it. And now, not saying that there aren't women out there like that, but the ones that are waking up, the ones that are conscious, the ones that have embodied these energies before fully, have always been this way. We've been misunderstood by it in the old energy, because maybe we were a little, you know, too aggressive or whatever. It doesn't even matter. What I'm trying to say is that the masculines, you're going through emotions that you don't understand. And first you have to feel the emotion. And this is the hardest part for a lot of divine masculines, a lot of men. So I'm going to share a personal story, and this is, I just started sitting down to make this video, and I literally have like 7 or 8 blooper reels. I'm having a really hard time concentrating and getting information out tonight. When I had my shock awakening, then the people around me, which is the people around you who are closest to you and have known you your whole life, are going to be the ones that are going to react the most negatively about you changing. Because whenever you start to change what you eat, what you listen to, what you want to do, right? Because you're listening to your soul, then you're no longer playing in these other people's shows. You're no longer playing the part that they signed you up to play. So if you're not playing the part that they signed you up to play in their musical, all of a sudden you decide you want to be a different character, then they're not exactly sure how to maneuver those characters around. They don't know if they don't want you in there anymore. So the first instinct, especially as a unconscious being, is that to find something that's wrong with what you're doing, and then to insult it, and because they don't even realize what they're doing, but they're trying to break you down to put you back in their little part in their play. And this is every soul's decision if they want to continue with their ascension or if they want to stay behind. But with the masculines, what happened around me was that when I woke up so quickly, and as our vibration rises, then you get your mirror. The brighter your light, the more reflection that you give off. And so when your family comes up to you, not only are you not the same person, not only are you different and you've changed after 30, 40, 50, whatever years, but now whenever they look at you, all they see is what they need to change about themselves. Number one. It's so important to understand this, because a lot of the insecurity and a lot of the reason that we're scared to continue with our journey is because of our families, because of our husbands, because of our families. This is a normal thing. But at the same time, we're sitting here saying, well, we can't wait to ascend. We just want to walk through this purple haze that people are talking about. We just want to walk through this purple haze like it's a movie, and then everything's going to be different on the other side. And it's not the way it works. Sorry about that. It's not the way it works. We have to clear our vessels before we can add more light and higher, and get our frequencies higher. The higher your frequency gets, then you're able to ascend to these higher planes. I describe it like this. You're at a rock concert, and everyone down here starts moshing. It's getting crazy. It's kind of getting out of hand. You're having fun, but at the same time, you're in that moment where you're like, ooh, I'm kind of frightened. All the people are down here. Now they're moshing. Now they're fighting. Everyone's drunk, being stupid because, it's 3 a.m. now at the rave. But you've got these 20, 30 people that are ascended in their frequency, right? So they're at the same concert you are, but they're having a completely different experience because their frequencies have at a higher place. In order to be at a higher place, then your soul knows when you meet somebody who has done some of this clearing and who has this higher frequency. It could be from their star systems. It could be from the frequency, the energies that they brought in to the planet, because that's why we're here, especially us first wavers, right? But you automatically know whenever you meet somebody and at a higher frequency, because they're more about love. They're more about you. They're more about humanity. It's not all about them and getting drunk and getting laid. And we've spent way too many lifetimes just getting drunk and getting laid. And so when we start having these emotions, and this is women too, because for women, the divine masculine is also standing up and taking your power back. Standing up to your family and telling them, no, I can't do that. And it takes some adjusting. But at first, there's only one way that I know to heal. And this is for men, this is for women, this is for divine male and female, is to rewrite your story. we all tell our stories every day. We tell our stories every day. And if you're in sales, you tell lots of stories. You tell lots of stories about the company. You tell lots of stories about the product. You know, if you showed up to sell a product and said, this is a really good product, but last month, you know, it didn't make any sales and it lost everything. And 2 years ago, you know, the product broke up with the brand, and then the brand went this way and the product went this way, right? This is how we tell the stories of our life. And so whenever we tell these stories over and over and over and over again, it's what we're saying, it's what we're putting out into the universe. And guys, it's this easy and this hard. What we speak and the words that we use to define ourselves, define ourselves. So if you're constantly saying, oh, I keep getting fired, I don't even want to say these things out loud, right? Because if I say them, then I could bring them into my reality. It's how strong, it's real. It's true. So when you start having these emotions and you're not sure why, and you start second guessing things, it's good. If your life is completely tore up from the floor up right now, then you're exactly where you should be. From the outside looking in, people think that they're, you know, my life personally is just a freaking wreck. But, oh my gosh, that just paused on 444. 44, quantum number, galactic human, fifth dimensional consciousness. When you have these emotions, number one, don't let anybody tell you not to feel them. Don't let anything tell you not to feel them. Don't drink them away. You can. I mean, this is all your choice. The old ways of dealing with your emotions are no longer going to work in this new energy. And I'm hearing right now that's why the divine masculine is freaking out so bad. It's why the divine feminine, the masculine side of her, is freaking out so bad, because these ways that we've numbed these emotions, and for the women, these are, you know, a lot of sexual healing, because there's so much trauma that's been involved with sexually being taken advantage of, or I really don't even want to go there tonight. But it's important that we all understand this, because the only way, when those emotions come up, and you can trace them back, I know you can. I know that those thoughts are coming up, that you know where that event came from, what you feel bad about, what you feel sorry for. You have to stop, recognize what is making the emotion, what is causing you to feel this way. Consciously aware of what that action was, that experience was, and realize that whatever it was, your soul and your higher self put it in your life, right? If you believe that, then do you also believe that your higher self and your soul knows you better than you? Because it's your whole soul. It's not a fractal piece of it that we're merging back together right now. And if you believe that, then do you believe that your soul's trying to hurt you or punish you? And that's why you're arguing with everyone today? Or that's why you've been crying and you don't understand? Or that's why you can't stand your life, but you're too scared to stand up for it? No, your soul's not going to do that. Your soul knows you better than you. And we're stubborn beings. We are stubborn. So if, you know, for me, when I lost my business, when I lost my company, that is what it took. I know for a fact that losing my love, my relationship, again for the third time, falling apart, and losing my ego self, which was my company, because my business and my career, like most males and now a lot of females, that's all I was. I was a paycheck. I was corporate Christy. I was the salesperson. Everything about that defined Christy was all wrapped up in what I owned and was wrapped up in what I did. And I think a lot of you are feeling this right now, and I understand, because you don't understand. You know that it doesn't feel right, but at the same time, you're not exactly sure how to change it. And then the emotions start and the waterworks start. And so then we try to go back and see if maybe these old ways of numbing it with the women, or with the alcohol, or with the retreat, or, you know, retreating, which you need to do, but, you know, I'm talking major, like just leave. Those things aren't going to work anymore, because no matter where you go and no matter who's mirroring to you right now, because, you know, just as you're a mirror, you're getting that stuff flung back at you. So if you have a fight with the wife about something and you run away from it, then you aren't going to run far before there's another experience that's popping you right back in the face, and you're going to wish you would have dealt with it with the wife, because you know her and you can trust her most of the time. There's a lot of relationships that people aren't understanding right now what they're feeling. And for me, going back to my business and story and closing that up, I know that that's what it took for me to wake up. I know that my soul put that in my higher self. This is what we planned before we got here, and this is what had to happen. And not only that, but the people that hurt me badly in my life, I now understand that some of the people that I hate in this lifetime, which I don't hate a lot. I don't really hate at all. But my ego does. Those people are the ones who love me the most on the other side, because they agreed to sign up to come here and play a part in this incarnation, that they're the villain in my musical. And for all of us who have kids and family and parents, you know, we don't want to be mean to somebody else. So, I mean, that takes a lot. So that's a couple of examples how I've rewritten our story. And I know that your ego is sitting here telling you right now that it's got to be more than that, but it's not, because what happens is your brain creates new neurons on that story. Now, every time you think about that experience, you have to tell the new story. You tell the new story, you tell the new story, you speak it, you tell the new story to as many people that will listen, until it becomes your new reality. And that's how it works. If you can do that, then what happens after that is, once your brain creates creates this new story, then your frequency in your body starts lightening, your frequency changes, your crystal, you know, more of your emotional body is starting to be healed, then your frequency starts to raise, then your etheric body starts to be healed, and then before you know it, it's going to be 4 or 5 months later, and then by then you've put all these things, learned these lessons, because now your DNA is unlocking all at the same time, because this is a quantum event. This is not a linear thing. All these things start happening at the same time. And then before you know it, it's 10 months later and you're out of all the shit. It's not a cakewalk. Not gonna lie. It's a moment to moment to break out of that construct that we've been put in, to not beat up on yourself when you feel like society is judging you because you're changing and you don't want to, you know, be the tree hugger, the granola person, those past labels. So many people are coming along for this ride. As many as we can, right? As many as possible. We're just the firsts. First doesn't bother you whenever we're talking about the first person to score XYZ touchdowns in a game. First doesn't bother us whenever we talk about the first female president that's to come. We like the first until we are the first. Your families, if you don't have other people that are awakened around you, you can raise the vibration of the entire unit. As you start healing your body, as you start healing your karma, as you start understanding that that's what it is, and then consciously speaking it into existence, creating a new story like you did for your life, then the whole vibration of your household, of your family line, all the way back to the seed, which is off planet for all of us. All of it bumps up. We're not just ascending Earth right now. We're also ascending multi-galaxy. We're ascending every galaxy in the universe. Do you know how many that is? We're all going at the same time. Now, Earth is going from X to X, and other planets are going from, 6 to 7 right now. So the energies that you're feeling are intense, because humanity has never been through a shift like this one before. We've had something similar around 26,000 years ago, but not like this one. And we're the first. Talk about your feelings to anybody, to yourself in the mirror, to the video camera. Follow your instinct. And remember, you're never, never alone. We're never alone. We are in a holographic video game. We, with our words and with our actions and with our heart, or the lack of centered in our heart, our bodies are our controllers. Our words are the guns, are the weaves, are the jots. So when you create your new story, then you're creating your new world. And nothing's off limits. And see, that's the scary part. As humans, we don't know how to do that. It's all we've had is limits. But it's a process. We get there. I'm not there yet. I'm getting there. Manifested a new friend today. And her name is Christy. Seriously. She's commenting on my channel, and then 2 hours later I'm standing in her living room, and it was like I just met myself. And she, first conscious person that I've had a face-to-face conversation with to this level. And I just written it in my manifestation journal 2 days ago. I will. I didn't ask. I didn't pray for it. Please, please, please. No. I will find a friend that has the same type of mission as me so that we can be a team and we can help each other. And bam. So let's start rewriting our stories. And don't forget about the earth. And don't forget about the environment and the chemtrails. Let's rewrite that story too. Korea. Let's rewrite that story too. So now do you understand why before every equinox we have some type of bombing, or we've got some type of shooting or something going on always the day before an equinox, always the day before a big alignment like today and yesterday? The reason is because the Cabal, the Kalankara, the Illuminati, they, whatever you want to call the beings that suppressed humanity for so long, this is why they did it. Because whenever we constantly see fear, then what do? We stop writing our story and we go into fear, or we go into survival, and then our story becomes their story because the fear is the only thing that's ruling us. Whenever we can just understand that the only way anything in our environment is going to change, the only way the wife is going to change, the only way the kids are going to stop screaming, the only way that we'll have abundance enough is if we work on ourselves first. It's ass backwards in everything we were taught. You balance you. We balance ourselves. We raise our frequency. Then we raise the people around us. Then things start flowing a little bit better. Then they start waking up, or not. If it's not, then that's your decision again, but it just means that it's not in dissonance. A lot of relationships aren't meant to last this shift. Even soulmates. They were meant to be mirrors and polar opposites on a lot of situations to lead us up to the shift, but we weren't supposed to be with them afterwards. Doesn't mean we love them any less. Doesn't mean we have to go have this horrible divorce and draw it out and make the lawyers and the government rich. No. We realize as a conscious human that right now is not the time for us to be together because the dissonance is so... The mirrors are too much. It's too much reflection. It's too much reflection sometimes. But we know when that is and when that isn't. It's when we know that it is and we don't do anything about it because we don't want to break up the family and we don't want to stress the kids out. Well, guess what? The kids are going to be stressed out as fuck. If you stay in that relationship with someone that you are no longer energetically aligned with because if you're not ascending because someone else in your family isn't, then you just lost your chance to clear your entire bloodline. And that means your children. Because when we rewrite our story like a time traveler, right? Time travel movies, if I go back in time, remember Back to the Future, he couldn't see himself. He couldn't see himself because then it would change something. Because there, in that moment, there was no future and there was no past. There was only then, because it was all together, right? That's how it works. So when we truly clear and we understand and we write a new story and we release it and we say it's over and we're healed and we're done. And yeah, you mean you have to go through the emotions first, but whenever you do, and you know when you're done, or there'll be an event, or there'll be a synchronicity, or there'll be a healing that you walk up on, or walk in someplace and or watch a video, whatever it is, something will pop up. You'll know when you're done with whatever that was, and then you can clear it and put it away. And you're ascending your children. So then their reality becomes a higher reality, meaning who knows what you're going to save them from, because that you've been through and your parents went through and the before that went through, blah, 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 right through, because these were programs, put on the fractals, put on the bloodlines, put on the fractal. So when you start removing that stuff, then you just removed it all for your kids. But if you can't leave that relationship because you don't want to, because your mama likes her, but you can't stand to be with her, then the kids have to go through it, not only in the house, but in their future and in their reality. So then maybe they'll get it later on. Do you hear what I'm saying? I had no idea that this is what we would really be talking about tonight. I always tell people, don't let this fool you. I wonder, and I still don't know why my soul chose this blonde Barbie doll look, because while I'm 6th planet Libra, right, and Sun, Moon, Mercury, Uranus, Pluto, and Mars. And yeah, I have a hard time. I got a match, and I love fashion, and it's why we're doing the fashion line and stuff and the shirts and all that, just because I love it. I'm an Aries rising, and Aries is, you know, where Chiron is right now. It's the start of the new system. It's the really the bottom half of the astrology chart, I think, is more Earth 3D, and then the top I think of is more spirit, and Aries is directly across from Libra. And it's exact opposite, where Libra, and when you're unconscious and you're not balanced, is only worried about the other person and the partnership and neglects themselves, historically, in the old story, not in my new story. Aries is the opposite. It's the I am that I am. It's the caveman. It's hunt, fish, survive, and I'm only worried about me. There's a balance in between there. And I've been around men my entire life. I have a son. I had a family that was all men. My work was men. I was, you know, in corporate and technology, working with men. And even though I look like this, I understand. Me, Christy, have really, I understand more of a man's role in a household than I do a woman, because it's really the role I played a lot. From the financial perspective, from the work perspective, from the from that perspective. I wasn't the homemaker type. I'm not. I'm not the homemaker type. It's not my specialty. You know, that's okay. We got this, guys. We got this. We call in the highest timeline of all dimensions, of all space and time in this now. We call in the highest timeline of all dimensions, of all space and time in this now. Remember that. Try it. Create your new story. I love you all, for I am not small. We are not small. We are taller than tall. Mwah. Sorry if this video is a little all over the place. I'm seriously having an issue concentrating. Did Mercury leave Venus? Because I was so connected there for a while. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.